do that. I'm Lisa Johnson, and I'm the Associate Dean for International Study here at Smith. And I'm here today with my very esteemed colleagues, and I'll let them introduce themselves. First, let's start with Angelo.
Great. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Angelo Pistano. I'm the Study Abroad Coordinator in the Lewis Global Studies Center Office for International Study. So I work with you to prepare and as you're heading off for your experience in Hamburg, and also and working very closely with our colleagues in the department. So excited to be here and hear about the updates.
And Sandra?
Hi, my name is Sandra, and I'm teaching German, all different levels at Smith since 2019.
And Iris? I know you weren't prepared to introduce yourself, but I can't help it.
Yeah, I'm Iris Borg-Goldfield. I'm a professor at Wesleyan University, and I also teach German.
Great. And last but not least, Jutta.
Yes, I'm Jutta Goodside. I am directing the study abroad program in Hamburg, Germany, and I used to teach German, but I stopped at some point because I'm more in the office now and teaching other things. But I am working with the students once they are here on the ground, and of course before that too, in order to prepare them for the experience in Hamburg.
Great. So we're going to start with just a brief presentation and some visuals so that you can get an idea what it might be like for you to study in Germany, and specifically in Hamburg. And then after the presentation, we'll definitely have some time for questions for any interested students. So Jutta, if you could share your screen.
I will. Can you see it?
We can see the last slide.
Oh, and I try to make it.
There we go.
There we go.
Very good. Great. So for those of you who are here to learn about the program, as you know, it's the Smith College program run in Hamburg. And it's about to celebrate an anniversary. If you can see there, it's been running since 1961-62. And this coming summer, we're going to be celebrating its anniversary. And we're really excited and proud of the fact that we're able to offer such a long running program in Hamburg. And it is a beloved program here at Smith by German Studies Department, as well as many Smith students and other students, including Wesleyan students who have participated in the program and have really, shaped both their academics after they graduate, as well as who they are as people. So Jutta, can you go to the next slide, please? But before we get into the nitty-gritty, I just wanted to paint a broad picture, of what are Smith's values with regards to studying abroad and running its own program. So you can read for yourselves here on this slide, that we're really, really wanting to help participate in the development of engaged global citizens and leaders so that they can address today's challenges, societal challenges. We want the students who participate in study abroad anywhere, and specifically on our own programs, to have active engagement in the world, so that enhances a liberal arts curriculum, both before, during, and after the undergraduate experience. And this includes language proficiency, cultural immersion, and competency, and just learning about different academic standards and perspectives. And then we also value very strongly inclusion and equity. And we encourage students from any diverse backgrounds to consider studying abroad in general, and then obviously more specifically, in this case today, for the Hamburg program. Obviously, we're open to guest students from other colleges and universities, and we welcome their participation because it makes the experience all the more richer when we have a diversity of schools represented, and how to experience the study abroad opportunity together as a collective. All right, next slide. I think I'm turning this over to Jutta. You're on.
Yeah, that's Hamburg. That's my part now. That's Hamburg. You can see the card of Germany on the right side. We are up in the north, and Hamburg is the second largest city in Germany after Berlin, and may probably not be as known as cities like Munich or Heidelberg or others in the US. But as I said, it's a large city, and it has the advantage for us that we are the only US program on site here. So it's really a kind of immersion into the German, international and German surrounding. It's not a city with a strong US community inside. And this may be considered an advantage or a disadvantage. We think that it does have advantages because that's the reason for going abroad. You want to meet other people. The two pictures show the harbor in Hamburg. Hamburg has always been connected to the sea, and trade has always been important here. And so there always have been international connections. And the second picture, the Elbphilharmonie, that's our new iconic concert hall, is an example of the vibrant cultural life in town. Hamburg has more than 50 museums. There are festivals, concerts, theaters, etc., etc. And we like to take our students to some of these experiences and have them join the experiences. So this is the place we are. Our program now consists of offers two different tracks. We have track A, which is called the University Studies program now. And students can opt for track A either for the academic year, that would make it September until end of July. Or the second option would be to do the University Studies program in spring only. That's from the beginning of March until the end of July then. And what is new is our track B. That's what we call Practicum program, and that will take place in the fall only, which makes it September until December. So students will be back home before winter break. Our students live in single rooms in co-ed houses. And for the track A students, because they are enrolled at the university, this will be student dormitories. You can see one in the picture on the left. That's one of the student dorms. And for the track B students who will not be enrolled at the university, this will be some kind of hostel where they rent rooms for a longer period of time. But the single room is definite, and the co-ed situation is also definite. This is something we can promise. That's how it's going to be. So these are the two program tracks. Then I'd like to talk a little bit about classes. The program in general is suitable for many majors. And actually that's a characteristic of our program. The very diverse academic backgrounds of our students. We host students from, well, German studies, obviously, students from who do other languages as a major, from history, political science, etc., etc. So it's all the academic fields. It's humanities and social sciences, and also the natural sciences, the STEM field. Students take their classes at our Smith Center in Hamburg. That was the house on the very first slide. We are in there. And for track A students, they also attend classes at the University of Hamburg. They are enrolled at the university, and they are expected to take at least one class per semester at the university, and can combine it then with our in-house classes. If students, track A students, go to the university, that's of course a transition. The university is much larger. Most parts are in German. That is a new environment, a new experience. And in order to make that smoother, if a student takes a class at the university which counts towards their major in the US, they are entitled to ask for a tutorial. Tutorial would mean I would ask the professor for a recommendation. Professors usually recommend advanced students in their field, and our students then meet with that tutor for 1.5 hours or 2 hours a week in order to discuss the last session, to prepare for next session, etc. So that's for classes in a student's major. And then, of course, there are the extracurricular learning opportunities. We take the groups on excursions. That's actually the picture on top, the muddy picture. That's from an excursion to the coast of the North Sea. We take the group to concerts, to theaters, to museums, etc. So classroom is one part of the experience, but I think study abroad is also about life outside the seminar room, and we try to enhance that as much as we can. Okay, so this is a picture taken at the University of Hamburg, and it's a large one. They have more than 40,000 students, and they have more than 170 different majors and minors. So the course catalog per semester, I think it's a little more than 5,000 courses offered during one semester. So for our students, when they do the Track A program, the problem is usually not finding a course, but eliminating choices. They start with a long list, and then we have to cut it down one by one. The university is very proud that it has been nominated as one out of 11 German universities of excellence. That's why they have this red big E in the photo, which means additional funding for the university. And of course, it's a high honor to be awarded like that. B. On the other hand, Track B works in a different way. As I said, in Track B, students will not be enrolled at the university because academic calendars just don't match. The university fall semester, or it's called winter semester in Hamburg, courses don't end until the end of January or early February. So that's an overlap with the US calendar. And that's why we came up with a different idea for Track B. Track B students take 4 courses in our Smith Center. One of them is the so-called Practicum course, which also includes a practicum activity. The second one is the German language course, and these 2 courses are mandatory. And then they take 2 elective courses, also in-house courses at the Smith Center. The Practicum project is related to the students' academic background and personal interests, and actually it can have 3 different forms. It can either be an internship, or it can be voluntary work or community-based learning, as you may call it, or it may also be a research project. The general idea is it should be something which takes the student out of the classroom and gets them in contact with people outside the university or Smith world and bubble, and so provides new experiences for the students. And it is pretty much student-driven, I would say. So the idea is when students apply for Track B, they write, as part of their application, a statement on which kind of practicum project they would like to pursue. And if a student is interested in an internship or in community-based learning, we will then work with an institution, with an agency where people specialize in internship placement. So they do nothing else but keeping in touch with all kinds of internship sponsors and working on the matches of students and internship sponsors. And then students should be available during the summer in order to pursue that application. It's a kind of application procedure. It's not a catalog where you can point at one internship and say, I'd like that one. Students will at first meet with people from the internship placement agency in order to discuss their plans. And the students have their ideas, their plans, their wishes. The agency has an insight in what might be realistic, what might be feasible on the ground here. And then they work on, well, bringing those 2 ends together. And students may also have to talk to potential employers in the potential internship sponsors via Zoom prior to the beginning of the program, which is, I think, good for both sides because it gives an impression for the student and for the employer of who they might be working with. So this is the content of the Practicum program of Track B, which is a different experience than Track. Okay, this is a picture of our spring group of 2018 and Smith students and Wesleyan students. And it gives you an idea of how big or small our groups are. We are, compared to other programs, a smaller program. So this is 12 persons, and I think 3 of them are instructors, so 9 students in the spring group that year. There are other bigger programs where directors deal with 80-something students in one semester, and we are different. So we are more similar to the experience in a smaller liberal arts college. So our groups are smaller, which makes for a lot of personalized attention, I think. And well, you can read the quotes from previous students and their experiences. I very much I like all of them, and I think it's interesting. The second one about studying, that's really something which lots of students keep telling us. The experience, the academic experience is different. You live in town, not on campus. Students have their own neighborhood in town, and they experience a different learning style. It's, well, a new way of doing academics. But they, of course, have to apply. And Lisa, I think I hand it over back to you, because that's your part again, the application process.
Yeah, so anybody is welcome to apply, but we do have some certain eligibility criteria. We want students to be prepared for the study abroad experience, and that they put some thought into it. And we do this through the application process. Like, we want the students to provide some evidence, that they're mature, responsible, and prepared for studying abroad. And you'll see that, like I said, in the application process. We do require a 3.0 GPA, and to be in good academic standing at home, at your home institution, be it Smith or a guest institution. And you need to be in good standing with student conduct as well. And Smith students need to at least declare their major. And it's important to be able to craft a plan of study that outlines the 8 semesters at Smith, and a plan to complete a major, complete outside the major requirements, and study abroad at the same time. It's definitely doable, but we do ask the students to demonstrate that they've got a plan in place. And next slide, please. We also do have a language prerequisite. As I mentioned earlier, language acquisition and fluency is important to Smith. And so for the track A, students who will be in Hamburg for the full academic year or for the spring semester, for the year students, we expect to have at least 2 years of college level German, or the equivalent. And by the equivalent, we mean if you studied or have German language experience prior to entering college, you may not be starting with beginning German as your first German courses. So if you entered and you started at German like 200 and an intermediate level as your first German language course, then you would be meeting that equivalent and stuff. So the 2 years is assuming students start from 0 during their first year, and they take, with the expectation is to take 4 full semesters of German language. And then for the spring semester, it's a little bit less, 3 semesters, including 1 right before the spring semester. So 1 during the fall semester before you study abroad. For track B, which remember is a fall semester only option, we do expect to have students to have at least 2 semesters of college level German or the equivalent. And again, or the equivalent is the same as what I've explained before. And then also wherever you go, when you're studying abroad, to have your language skills as strong as possible and as fresh as possible by studying the language prior to your study abroad experience is a benefit that will pay off once you get on the ground. And if you have a chance to talk to return study abroad students, they will definitely echo that in terms of their own language preparation prior to studying abroad and what it was like for them when they first landed on the ground and needed to start using those language ability in an immersive environment. All right, next slide, please. So if you're interested, like I said, we're welcoming applications right now. We have the application deadline for next year, either fall 2022, the academic year 2022-2023. We've extended the deadline to March 14th. So if you're interested in applying, we encourage you to search the Smith website for Study Abroad in Hamburg. And follow the instructions on how to apply. We have an online application system. If you're a Smith student, you'll click on the Smith login box that's on that webpage. If you're not a Smith student and you're a guest student interested in this program, we ask you to click on the guest student login. If you're interested in the spring semester only, We actually have an October deadline for that. It's the first Monday in October. You're more than welcome to apply for the spring semester now if you wish, but also know that you do in fact have a little bit more time until October to submit your application. But the first Monday in October would be our application deadline for spring 2023. And next slide. And that's it. That's it in a nutshell. I hope that this has sparked your interest in the Hamburg program. As I mentioned, it's a great program. If you get the chance to talk to any alum who have been on the program, they will echo some of the things that we've said. So if you have a chance, at least at Smith, if you want to come to the Global Study Center and read the program evaluations, you're welcome to do so. If you're not a Smith student, I encourage you to reach out to your department and or your study abroad office, who will likely be able to provide you with names of students who have been on this program. So I think that's all for now. Maybe you can stop sharing your screen, and we've got some time for questions. And if you want to unmute your video, your camera, you're welcome to do so. You can also put your questions in the chat. Maggie, can we help you?
Yeah, I was just, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering, I have previous experience in German because I lived there, but not because I've taken like official college classes. Is there like an equivalency test thing or like a way that I could figure out which class level I should start at from where I am now?
Yeah, sure. Maggie, can you let us know if you're a Smith student or a Wesleyan student?
I'm a Smith student.
Okay, so Sandra, could you answer Maggie's question about placement?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I can answer this right now. Are you going to start take any German classes at Smith?
I'm depending on whether I need to or not to be eligible, then yeah.
Okay. Well, as was mentioned before, it would be really recommended to take at least one German class at Smith before you go to Hamburg. But for a placement, we do have a placement test, which you would need to fill out online. And then depending on that placement test, we will tell you, okay, you are a perfect student for German 200 or for German 250. Also depending on what courses we can offer for that specific semester.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So Sandra, should Maggie reach out to you to set up the scheduling of the placement test, or what would be Maggie's next steps?
I did not really in the past handle the placement test, but Maggie, feel free to email me. I can put my email in the chat, and then I can point you into the right direction on where to find the placement test and what to do. So let me put my email in the chat.
So Tamia says, I took one semester of German in the fall of 2020. I'm taking another semester currently. If I'm understanding correctly, I would still be eligible for track B. And Tamia, can you tell us what level of German you took for last semester and what level you're taking this semester? Okay. And are you thinking about studying abroad for spring 2023? Or fall 2022? For track B, yes, you have completed one full year of German. And so we would welcome your application for the track B fall semester. Any other questions?
I have
Yeah.
one. I was wondering, do you have any promotional posters or anything that I could put up at Wesleyan or put up on our website? That would be really helpful. I'm redesigning our bulletin board, and I thought I have one section for studying in my hometown, Hamburg.
Yeah, yeah, we will very soon. It's on our to-do list.
Yeah.
And
Can
we
you
wanted
email it?
to-
Okay, and you send it to me?
Yes, sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Jay or Tamia or Maggie? All right.